Hello YouTube world, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dusty Mason and this is the Shred Academy. On today's skills breakdown, we're going to be taking a look at the bump jump. What it can be used for and how it can make you a better jumper and how it's done. So without further ado, let's get shredding. What does the bump jump teach us? Well, the bump jump is going to teach us something awesome called rear tire awareness. Now, rear tire awareness is more or less learning how long your wheelbase is and how much time you have from picking up your front wheel to when your rear wheel is going to reach the edge of a drop, jump, or this obstacle, and then you explode in the air. Where do we use the bump jump?
Alright guys, we're out here on the trail to give you an example of where the bump jump can help you. Now, in front of me, I have kind of a little drop that has another little drop about, I want to say 6 feet away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 feet away. So I'm going to use this route to bump jump, okay? And I'm going to land down here after this route to take out these 2 quick undulations. So just a quick example of where that bump jump can come into play.
And now let's get to learning the bump jump. If you haven't already watched my how to J-hop video, hit pause, go back out. I will put the link in the description. As we get started learning how to do the bump jump, let's first talk about the approach and what speed we're gonna wanna come in at. First off, the approach. We're gonna wanna approach this just like you would the bunny hop, right? Come in a relaxed position. Don't come in a super low attack position, because that's gonna give you nowhere to body weight preload into. Our second thing is, how fast do we approach this? We want to approach this to start off in a slow to moderate pace. Too fast and you're gonna have to execute the bunny hop really fast, and you're not gonna get the gist of really finding your wheelbase and your rear tire awareness. Now, coming too slow, you might find it hard to also keep your front wheel going up in the air for that long if you're new to the J-hop. So a slow to moderate pace is going to make this a little more attainable. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to want to slow down and speed up so you can do this at varied speeds. Let's continue to break this bump jump down. Now that we're approaching in a relaxed position at a slow to moderate pace, we've got to start the first step, and that's the body weight preload. We're gonna wanna start this body weight preload about 8 inches to almost a foot back from the obstacle itself. So now that we have our location of our body weight preload, let's remember that our body weight preload is not really meant to engage the suspension. So don't be forcing your fork or your rear shock down. So make sure that you're just preloading your body weight down and not trying to force, especially the fork down. So once you've done that body weight preload and you're moving forward, our next step is gonna be the initial wheel lift, or the bump, we'll call it. So the front tire is gonna bump off this as you've kind of started to unweight the front tire by sliding into that rear third of the bike. Now, the log itself is aiding you in that initial wheel lift through giving you that little bump. It's gonna help get it up in the air. Now, your job after you've got that initial wheel lift is to continue compressing that rear shock by leaning back on the handlebars. Your arms are going to be straight, keeping that upper body away from the top tube, okay? And making sure your hips are in the rear third of that bike so you can push in to what's coming, just like you would the lip of a jump. If you're not pushing in to what's coming, what's going to happen is you're going to feel like you're getting buffed up in the air. because you're really not trying to push the bike through. One of the key goals of this rear tire movement is to be able to push your rear tire through something with your legs, because this is exactly what's happening on the lip as well. If you just let your legs collapse, your front wheel is going to go up and then you're going to dive back down. I'll try to do an example here. You're continuing to add pressure until you know that you're going to hit this with your rear wheel. And that's the goal of the bump jump, is to learn your rear tire awareness. So it's going to teach you whether you're exploding off your rear tire early or late. It's going to help you narrow down that timing for that last bike length and a foot of that lip. Now that you've started to figure out how long your bike is, where to preload, it's time to start dialing in that explosion off of this rear wheel. Now, that explosion is going to be the same explosion that you're doing in the J-hop, but you're going to have this extra bounce to get you in the air, and you're going to learn that timing, whether you're being early or late. Right? You're leaning back. The key to the explosion is pulling yourself back up, okay, with your arms that you've been leaning back here on, right? So you've been leaning back, and now you're going to use those bars to pull yourself back up. The key to this explosion while pulling yourself up is to get your hips as high as you can up over your top tube, and almost as close to the bars as you can without really bar humping. You want your hips to go high because you can't bring the bike any higher than your hips. Your lower half, your extremities are going to get in the way. So you got to get your hips up and forward over the top tube so you can pick the bike up and roll it forward. Now, your arms are only getting you kind of so far. So you're going to also have to be jumping off with your feet, right? And lifting the bike with you as you jump is going to help you not leave the bike behind and dead sailor. So again, the key to this explosion is knowing when your tire is going to hit this, and at that moment, be pulling yourself up and forward with your arms and exploding up and forward with your legs. You're going to be going from heel down to toe down as you explode up, because again, that's what happens when you jump. Now that you've pulled yourself forward and you're up over your bike, what now? Now is almost the second most important thing, if not the most important thing about the bunny hop and bump jump, is pulling the bike up and rolling it forward with your forearms, almost like you're trying to roll the grips forward on the bike. You're gonna feel a lot of shoulder muscles that you haven't used before and a lot of forearm muscles. So don't be surprised if you get sore doing this. But you wanna be rolling that bike forward. You'll see the bike come through, right? You can extend a little bit, but make sure you're not landing in that back seat. You don't want to be landing and getting that rear wheel sucked down into the rear triangle. I'm not even gonna try to demonstrate that because I'm 40. I could still have kids. Who knows? Haven't met a girl yet, but anyway. Yeah, so roll the bike forward. You want to, got a little distracted there. Where am I going in my life? Mountain bikes. You want to roll the bike forward, right, to match the angle of your landing. You can also roll the bike forward a little more so you can set the front tire down first, kind of ease that impact of the landing, kind of absorb, and then make sure you're landing with all that weight back in that bottom bracket. So as you get to bigger bumps of the jump, it's gonna be the same timing, but just the force of what you're doing is gonna be a little greater, and the distance you're gonna go is less, but you might get a little more up out of it. Practice these in an area that it's safe, roots. I'm in a nice area where I've got plenty of room. Don't just wing it, that will end up badly. Put the practice in. It really shows once you get on the trail with your friends. All right, guys, that's the bump jump. Simple and easy. It's taking the J-hop and then utilizing an obstacle. It's gonna help you with your rear tire awareness. It's gonna help you become a better jumper. It's probably going to help you become a better bunny hopper, and it's going to help you on the trail by teaching you to, you can gap over some rocks or roots, you can use something as an aid to get on top of other stuff. It's going to open up the doors for your riding. So make sure you're practicing out there, guys. Ride safe, ride hard, have fun, be kind to one another, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for tuning in.